For my brave tigers, she said, placing a hat on Leo's head and the other on Lily's. Leo looked at his reflection in a small mirror. He saw a kitten with bright eyes and a magnificent striped hat.
He stood up tall. He puffed out his chest.
And this time, when he let out a roar, it was louder, stronger, and full of a new, true courage. It was late in the evening when she was finally finished. Her paws were sore and her eyes were tired, but on the table sat two perfect, fluffy, bright yellow and black tiger hats. She called the kittens over. Their eyes went wide, and their mouths dropped open.
Mama,
Leo whispered, his voice full of awe. The final step was the hat itself. Mama Cat found an old, soft piece of canvas. She measured Leo's and Lily's heads, then cut two small, cap shapes with little triangular ears. She fired up her old sewing machine. Its whir-whir-whir filling the room. She sewed the base hats, then, with a needle and thread, she meticulously stitched the painted, striped fur onto the canvas forms. She attached the little ears, ensuring they stood up perkily. Once the yellow fur was dry, she laid it out flat. With a tiny brush made from a twig, she began to paint. With the steady paw of an artist, she painted long, bold, black stripes onto the yellow fur. She worked carefully, copying the pattern from Leo's picture book, which she had propped up on the counter. It took time, but as the stripes appeared, the fur transformed. It was no longer just fur, it was a tiny tiger pelt. While the yellow fur dried, she prepared the stripes. She found a small bag of dark, dried berries she had saved. She crushed them and mixed them with a tiny bit of water, creating a thick, dark paste, a perfect, all-natural paint. Now for the magic. A tiger hat needed to be tiger-colored. She went to her garden and gathered handfuls of bright, sunshine yellow marigold petals. She put them in a large pot of water on the stove. The kitchen filled with a sweet, earthy scent, a rich, vibrant golden dye. Mama Cat took the clean, dry fur and submerged it in the warm, yellow bath. She stirred it with a wooden spoon, watching as the white cloud drank in the color. But the work was not done. This was only the beginning. She brought the fur into the kitchen. First, it had to be cleaned. She washed it gently in a basin of cool water with a bit of soap, rinsing it until the water ran perfectly clear. She then spread it out on a clean cloth in the sun to dry, turning it over until it was airy and light once more. She bid farewell to Farmer Husky, who thanked her for the tidy work. The ride home was slower. Her muscles were tired, and the basket was now full and precious.
but her heart was light.
When she arrived home, Leo and Lily ran to greet her, their eyes immediately drawn to the basket.
"What is it, Mama?" Lily chirped.
"It's our project," Mama Cat replied, a mysterious smile on her face. For hours, Mama Cat worked.
The sun moved high into the sky.
Her back began to ache, and her paws grew cramped from holding the shears. But with every snip, 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 her basket filled higher.
Goodbye,
She thought
darling.
of Leo's roar. Her weariness faded, replaced by a quiet, determined joy.
Day,
She
my
trimmed
love.
rabbit after rabbit. Finally, her basket was overflowing with a cloud of pristine white fur. A little puff of white drifted down.
Snip. Another.
She worked with meticulous care, her eyes focused, her paws steady. She trimmed the fur on its back, its sides, and its belly, always leaving a
morning,
soft,
Mama
healthy
Cat.
layer behind.
Lovely
The
day
rabbit
for
felt
the
lighter
harvest.
already,
It
wiggling its ears in
certainly is,
appreciation.
Farmer Bernard.
She placed the heap of
Good
luxurious
morning,
fur
Farmer
into her
Bernard.
basket and moved
My,
to the next
sheep
rabbit.
look splendid
She
this
began with the
morning.
fine
They
wooden
do,
comb,
don't they?
gently,
Been a good
patiently
season for
working it
wool.
through the impossibly soft fur. It was like combing a cloud. She worked out every tiny tangle, her paws moving with a practiced, gentle rhythm. The rabbit twitched its pink nose but soon settled, calmed by her touch. Once the fur was smooth, she picked up her shears.
The metal was cool.
She held a tuft of the long outer coat between her fingers, well away from the skin, and made the first precise cut.
Snip.
Mama Cat's heart leaped with gratitude. She thanked him and hurried to the pen. Inside, a dozen of the fluffiest, most beautiful white rabbits she had ever seen were nibbling on clover. She unlatched the gate and stepped inside, moving slowly so as not to startle them. She sat on a small stool and coaxed the first rabbit onto her lap.
"It's okay, little one," she whispered.
"This will just help you feel cool and light." Mama Cat explained her situation, her voice humble but hopeful. She didn't ask for a handout. She offered to do the work, the long, careful job of trimming the Angora rabbits, in exchange for the soft, shorn fur. Farmer Husky listened patiently, stroking his chin. He looked at her small, calloused paws, then at the sharp shears she held. The farmer nodded, a kind smile spreading across his face. "All right then. It would save me a job. The fur is yours." After a long ride, she arrived at Farmer Husky's farm.
Keep
The friendly
pushing, we're
dog was
almost
dozing
there.
in the sun and waved his tail in
Just
greeting.
a little more room
Farmer
right
Husky
here.
was mending a fence,
That
and he
should
looked
do
up
it.
as she approached. "Well, hello, Mama Cat," he barked cheerfully. "What brings you all the way out here?" With a quick motion, she grabbed her favorite woven basket,
Goodbye,
a pair of
Farmer
sharp,
Bernard.
clean shears,
We're on
and a
our
fine
way.
wooden comb. She
See you
checked the
soon.
tires on her old blue bicycle, the one with the rusty bell. Giving Papa Cat a quick nuzzle as he headed out to the fields, she set off. The gravel path crunched softly under the bicycle's wheels. She rode past the babbling brook and through the wildflower meadow, the basket bumping gently against her back. The air was warm, and the scent of pine and damp earth filled her lungs. She was tired from the morning's chores, but the thought of Leo's hopeful face pushed her onward. She kissed Leo and Lily on their foreheads. "You finish your breakfast," she said, her voice bright with a new plan. "Mama has an important errand to run. You be good for Papa Cat, and I will be back this afternoon. And Leo," she added, winking, "you just might feel a little braver by tonight." Then, an idea sparked. It was a resourceful idea, born of necessity and love. She remembered Farmer Husky, who lived on the other side of the river. He didn't raise sheep, but he kept a small flock of beautiful, fluffy Angora rabbits, whose fur grew incredibly long and thick. With the summer heat approaching, she knew he would be trimming them soon. Perhaps she could help.
A shadow of determination crossed Mama Cat's face.
She knew that look. It was a deep, heartfelt wish, the kind that a mother's love couldn't ignore. But store-bought hats were a luxury their simple, hard-working life couldn't afford. She looked around their small home, her eyes scanning for materials.
Old cloth? No, not special enough. Straw? Too scratchy.
Her gaze fell on her empty
There
sewing
we are,
basket,
nice
and
and
for a moment,
clean.
she felt a pang of
The
sadness.
sun will dry
She
this
wanted to give her kitten
beautifully.
this small piece of joy, this symbol of courage. "Oh, Mama," he sighed, looking up as she stirred the breakfast porridge. "I wish I could be brave and strong like a tiger." Mama Cat smiled, her heart melting at his earnest little face. "But you are brave, my little Leo," she said softly, ruffling his fur. "But I don't look brave," he
Once
mumbled,
upon a
looking back at the picture.
time,
"If I had
in a
tiger stripes,
land
if I had a
filled
tiger
with
hat,
yarn
then everyone would know
balls
I was
and
brave."
endless
The day
gnats.
began not with the crowing of
There
the rooster,
lived a
but with the quiet
very
turn of a page.
brave
In the cozy
little
little living room,
tuxedo
Mama Cat's two
cat.
kittens, Leo and Lily, were huddled over a brightly colored picture book.
Siamese
It was a story
mama
about a great
cat.
brave tiger who roamed the jungle, strong and confident. Leo, the smaller of the two, stared at the magnificent striped animal, his eyes wide with wonder. He let out a tiny squeaky roar, trying to puff out his chest just like the tiger in the book.